Hi there, dear Capricorns. How are you? I hope you're all doing absolutely wonderful today. I have many Capricorns in my family, so I am very familiar with you. My father was a Capricorn. So, welcome to your reading, your tarot reading for March of 2015. All right, so I would like to first start with the spread. Here's your spread for this month of March. And if you take a look at that, you will see that you have an incredible reading. You have one, two, three, four, five, six major arcanas. So there's a lot of changes for sure going on, which is what the tower implies. But we're going to start in the middle. If you notice, these cards are in Spanish. This is a Rider-Waite deck in Spanish. I bought this a couple of months ago in Antigua. And so we're going to start with El Mundo, the world. Okay, so the world. The world can signify that you are feeling the weight of your shoulders, the weight of the world on your shoulders, figuratively speaking. And this is not a very easy place to be. It is an excellent time to maybe review how well you do at asking for help when you need it. Remember, Capricorn, that you don't have to do everything all on your own. Okay? Now, this card can also signify completion. You've worked hard and you are almost to the finish line in one way or another of a specific project. It's telling you not to quit, that you're almost done. You're almost definitely in need of some well-deserved rest and relaxation. This seems to come up for you a lot, Capricorn. And it's coming up again this month, which means that you need to take heed and get some rest. Don't be afraid to do that. You are getting closer to who you really are at your deepest level, and the rest and reflection, time for reflection is key. In terms of work, there's a very good chance that you are working way too hard and maybe not making a lot of money. So, maybe you need to be a little bit more assertive in terms of getting your needs met to reach your accomplishments. Okay. Let's see. Okay, in terms of love, it's not really, let's see. I don't really think it's a love card. It's more of a card of completion. And I know that it's in your center, Capricorn, because at the same time, you you are always working on a project or a specific thing in your life to get ahead, to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And so it makes sense that that would be in the center of your reading. Even so, this is a beautiful card. Um, the lion is Leo, and it represents the fire sign. The bull is Taurus, and it is the earth sign. The man is Aquarius, and he is the air sign, and the eagle is Scorpio. Um, she is the eagle sign. So it's the circle going around, the circle of life, and it is representing all four elements of of the of this of the energies. Yes, the four classical elements in astrology. Okay, all right. So, El Rey de Oros, the King of Pentacles. Oros means gold, gold, but it's oro, but there it's in the plural. And the King of Gold or the King of Pentacles. Um, this is a this is an image that's full of stuff. And so let's talk about this image. Okay, so he is in a rooftop garden, and this symbolizes comfort and abundance. His throne is decorated with carvings of bulls and vines. The bulls symbolize mastering the material world. The vines symbolize excess. His robe is decorated with images of grapevines, rich with fruit. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, so his robe is decorated with images of grapevines, rich with fruits, symbolizing abundance. Uh, Around him and at his feet, we see vines and flowers, which symbolize his success in the physical world. In his right hand, he is holding a scepter, symbolizing authority. In his left hand, he holds a pentacle, symbolizing financial wealth. So, if you have heard your reading before and have gotten this card before, you will know that the King of Pentacles in the tarot card denotes success in business. This is a stable and authoritative character who is hardworking and dependable. And I know many Capricorns, and they are exactly that way. The King of Pentacles achieves success through discipline and in an ex and is an expert in his field. So, you're very ambitious, career oriented, um, and if you are being represented by this card, which you're not, you're beginning. This is like your beginning. This is like where you're at right now. Um, so, it probably means that you need to have control and power as well as security and a stable home. So, and being a earth sign, that makes sense that you're always looking for that, except you probably work for it a lot more than most earth people or most anybody in the zodiac. Actually, you guys are very, very determinate in that way. Um, so you are considered the perfect provider because of this card, not only financially but through giving advice and guidance. So that's wonderful. Um, you provide a lot of support um, in that way, but you are most importantly and first of all business oriented to your core. And you are no fool when it comes to business matters. So that is what's in the beginning uh, for you at this point in time. So now let's go to Sota de Oros. All right, so we have the Page of Pentacles. So the symbolism in the Page of Pentacles, which I always like to consider. Okay, there's an open green field that symbolizes opportunity to grow. Ooh, the trees in the background symbolize support. Okay, the mountains symbolize learning and growth. The young man is looking at the pentacle in his raised hand, symbolizing diligence. The bright sky symbolizes wellness and tranquility. Well, that sounds pretty good. I like that. It is a beautiful card. This young man holding this pentacle, and below you see like this valley, and I think I see like something being grown there out in the field. So it's really a beautiful card, and I like the way he's dressed. Now, um, now this card indicates reinventing yourself in some way. Hmm. Um, it often um, may communicate an opportunity to start something new, and that could be a business venture or even a romance, a romantic venture, a relationship. So it can be something creative, or it can be studying something, or a new business, like I said, or something, a new project. The Page of Pentacles is not yet an expert in the field of choice, but he has a clear goal and a dream to achieve. Okay, so he knows what he wants to do, but he's not an expert at it. So, because it's in your reading, it could, well, there you have it. So you, you probably will achieve your dream, whatever your dreams, or a dream, or maybe you have several dreams. Um, and you may have a chance to make this dream a reality, but you're gonna have to work some more, put a lot of work into it, and you're gonna need to learn what is required to fulfill this goal. So you might feel there are a lot of possibilities, but little support behind you. You feel like maybe you're just kind of like maybe taking on a lot on your own. You are pretty fascinated with the idea rather than getting on with the practical aspects of actual living. um, and doing all that work. You're more interested with you're more fascinated by the idea than the work involved to achieve that idea. And so this could mean that maybe you're not quite ready yet to embark on that. This could be like a project, an artistic project, a relationship. Okay, so let's look at your third card, which is the Tower. So let's look at the meaning of that card. Okay, excuse me. So the Tower card. The Tower is square and the crown being knocked off is circular, symbolizing that the knocking off the crown was exactly what was needed, as a circle will never fit comfortable on a square in the first place. The 22 flames represent the 22 major arcana cards. The gray clouds symbolize the divine thought of God coming forth from um, from the source with a great desire to manifest um, what is not manifested. Gray symbolizes a matter suppressed and in fear of exposure. Okay, the lightning symbolizes, excuse me, oh, sorry about that. I live really close to anyway. The lightning symbolizes bolts of truths. The lightning travels from left to right, okay, and symbolizing the subconscious reading of conscious, reaching the subconscious, reaching the conscious. Uh, which that also means a sudden awakening episode, an aha moment. The tower, let's see here. I'm going to close that door. Hold on. Okay, that's much better. I had to close the doors and the windows to block out the noise from the outside. Sorry about that. So the tower is built in an uneven mountain, and this represents that concepts or ideas were built based on premises that maybe perhaps weren't true or weren't sound. The two figures that you see falling on either side, a man in a blue tunic and a woman in a red cape, are Adam and Eve. And they're being freed from the chains seen in the devil's card. Okay, so this is good. It's a good sign. The background is black, which links it further to the devil's card, which has the same dark setting. Okay. Um, okay. So, uh, all right. So let's see. What else can I say about this card? Um, well, I believe the tower is ruled by the planet Mars. This is the same planet that rules the Emperor. Um, in the tower, we see the more destructive aspect of Mars. Emotional outbursts and anger issues are indicated. Unexpected events that throw the seeker off balance are implied. Okay. Um, so this is something that's happening to you. We'll be talking about that. Hold on a minute, please. It's a pretty important card, so I think I'm going to spend a little bit more time with this card with you. So, again, this card represents obviously disaster, or it could represent an emotional meltdown, or tantrums, anger issues, um, corrupt upheavals, and sudden change that are caused by a disruption or a revelations that rock your foundation or a person's foundation or their household or their organization, a project, a relationship. Um, okay. Um, it's letting you know, tarot is letting you know that you must face the truth about a situation or an issue to be able to have positive changes in your life. So, living in illusion is not really something that's going to work for you. You might fall off cloud nine and rediscover who you are, someone who is less likely to be fooled, um, less likely to be lied to, and less likely to be taken advantage of. Also, after an event of this nature, you will be less naive um, with this tarot card. Um, so it is showing up to free you. It frees you. That's what it does. It makes you free from what is enslaving you. Um, okay, and though it's devastating, it feels devastating. It also gives you flashes of genius and those aha moments. The moments are true act as a catalyst for spiritual awakening, and when the um, all of these like intense emotions start to dull, down to fade away, you will look back and see it all happened for the best. In the long run, the tower will save you from a spiritual or emotional destitute. In relation to love and relationships, the card can signify a toxic relationship filled with conflicts. If you are single, the tower can possibly mean that you are dealing with abandonment issues. In terms of career, the tower could signify jobs with high emotional pressures. So it seems to me that even though you have the world as your center, your foundation, um, this person who has achieved so much, who completes has completed so much, um, and though you have also the King of Pentacles as the first card of your reading, which is where you're coming from. Um, the page that follows that could indicate that there are possibly still some things that you need to embark on and learn about. Um, that in many ways you're still kind of an apprentice. And the tower could be just a devastating event that's happened to you just recently, or maybe in the recent past, that's relating to an ideal, a foundational ideal, something that happened to you that was just devastating and very painful. It could have been like a toxic relationship or something related to your work, uh, or maybe this King of Pentacles is somebody else who was helping you, and then you had a major disappointment with that person. So there's a lot of things that could be interpreted from this, and every individual is going to have a different story to tell. Now, your next card is the hold on a minute. Yes, your next card is the As de Bastos, or the Ace of Wands. This is a lovely card, and I think it's very encouraging that it's following after the Tower, uh, because the aces always signify new beginnings. And with this card, you can see the branch or the wand is being held up towards the sky, and it has small little leaves growing out of it, which are like new hopes, new beginnings, new awakenings, new desires. If we look at the symbolism in relation to this card, like I said before, the hand is issuing from the cloud, and it's holding this wand, which symbolizes creation, invention, enterprise, an ideal, and it's kind of like being offered to you. Um, the leaves, some leaves are holding on to the to the wand, but some of those leaves you can see that they are being carried away with the wind. Um, so this means that the wind is means that it symbolizes that it is behind you. It's behind your sails of yourself to push you forward. Now, if you look at the background, in the foreground there's a castle. Um, and the castle is ideas materialized into something physical. Okay. The river, which you can barely see it, but we're going to be looking at some other cards and you'll be able to see the river. I will show you another one, and you will see the river. The river symbolizes the flow, the flow of the energy, okay? And the trees and fields symbolize growth and abundance. So that's a really positive card to have after the tower. Okay, so so this card can speak to new beginnings, like I said earlier. It's telling you to be bold and to start something new. It says to follow your inspirations. It speaks of birth of all kinds, birth of a project, birth of an enterprise, job opportunities, and the birth of a baby, the birth of any new thing that could be happening around you right now or that you're thinking about. Um, now, okay, now for you, I believe that this birth, because of the cards that are around you, I am I am getting the message from these cards that your birth is uh, a very spiritual, profound birth for you. Um, it has nothing to do with the material world. And the reason why I'm saying this, Capricorn, is because you have this tower that's collapsing, and it's following the Pentacle cards, which is Earth, riches of the Earth. But this is collapsing, and the three cards at the bottom, the 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 sun, the moon, and the star, el sol, la luna, y la estrella, um, are cards of the subconscious. So I think it's like maybe for you a big change or growth in yourself and in your beliefs and ideals. Huh. But I'm interested in what follows after the world, um, which is judgment. Um, the judgment that it's right below the tower too. So the symbolism of the judgment um, denotes higher genius, a symbol of the divine self. So it kind of makes sense to me that that is what you're seeking, or that is what you will be finding, or that is what you will be working through. That maybe that is the full circle that you have to do is not in the material realm, because you have conquered the material. It's going to be in the spiritual realm, Capricorn. Um, so this is the Archangel Gabriel, and he is the angel of messages. His trumpet symbolizes the afterlife's triumph over death. You can see, the people that are naked below that are in black and white. Um, um, so the triumph over death, which kind of like speaks to the endings, and that are these endings, this tower, is followed by a positive new beginning. All right. So the white banner, you know how he's holding that white banner with the red cross, right? Or orange cross is a is a standard Christian symbol derived from the victory banner of Constantine, the first Christian emperor. Um, when Archangel Gabriel holds it, um, it symbolizes victory over death. So, and below you see a man, a woman, and a child, and they are being called from the tomb of ego consciousness. So it's like the living dead. They're not really physically dead, but they're living their lives as if they were dead because they're all just focusing on the ego. Uh, this is a really good card. A lot of people don't really understand this card, but I think that when you start talking about the history of the images and the symbolism behind the image in the tarot, it starts to make a lot of sense. Or at least it helps you to understand better what the messages might be. Now, another thing that's interesting to note that if you look on the other side, the same three people are standing there on the other side of the river, um, or the ocean. The three people are also a symbol of three pillars of the tree of life. The ocean represents the end of the river, symbolizing individuals coming together for a greater good. Um, so their reflection on the other side is a symbol of the soul's victory over death, and then the three pillars of the tree of life, the ocean representing the end of the river, which symbolizes an individual coming together for a greater good, and the mountains in the background, they represent the structure that surrounds us all. It's a lovely, lovely card. Now, in astrology, this card is ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation, and its element is fire. Pluto represents the subconscious forces and rules everything hidden in the depth of our minds. It also represents endings and new beginnings. Yeah. All right. So, because the card is where it's at and it's right underneath the tower, um, it could be telling or suggesting or indicating that that one needs to take more responsibility for one's actions and for one's life. Uh, um, Being a good judge of character, seeing the truth and knowing what you want. It also shows up when you need to step up and be a leader, speaking the truth and being more assertive. Obviously, it shows up around endings and new beginnings, and that's where you're at also. Um, it's telling you that you have choices. I mean, it's not like that you're stuck and you have no choice, you have nowhere to go. On the contrary, it is new beginnings, especially after a devastating event. So it's a great card for you. A really great card in relation to the rest of your reading. And if we go back and look at your spread, okay, so now we're heading down to the final three cards of your spread, which are this is an amazing spread. You have so many arcanas. There's a lot going on. Okay, so the first card of the bottom row, you have the Sun, and this card is also all the major arcanas are all of tarot is full of symbolism, and they've been around for so long, um, that for centuries, that it's really cool that they have that a lot of this still makes sense. So in this card, you see a child in a white horse, and the sun is huge, shining down on them. So the child symbolizes innocence. The feather on the child's head, there's a brown little feather sticking out there, is the same feather worn by the fool. This feather is connecting the child with the sun and with the fool. And the fool is a major arcana card also. It's the zero card. It's be the beginning of a journey. So that's what the fool is. So here, uh, there's also a red banner, that banner, which is the victory banner, symbolizing accomplishments and victories. So you're getting the sun right after all of this major, tower event that you've had or that is showing up in this reading. There's the sun. Um, so it's a card of victory. The child's posture symbolizes, if you can see, joy and happiness. He's holding the banner in his left hand, symbolizing the power of the subconscious. And the child rides a horse without saddle and rein, symbolizing trust and harmony. The white horse symbolizes strength, beauty, and purity. The sun represents life and happiness, warmth and goodness. How beautiful is that? My goodness, it doesn't get better than that, I believe. Again, as in the tower with the 22 flames representing the major arcana, here the 22 sun rays represent the major arcana. Notice how some are straight and some are curvy. The rays represent action, and the wavy rays represent vibration and flow. That is so cool. The four sunflowers, do you see the sunflowers there? Um, um, they symbolize the four suits in the minor arcana, the cups, the wands, the pentacles, and the swords. Okay. And so of the minor, they represent the four suites or suits of the minor arcana, and the sunflowers represent also love and happiness. In astrology, this card is ruled by the sun, the ruler of your purpose, of your character, of your will, your determination, your heart, health, vitality, and consciousness. Just about everything, right? The sun represents the ego and how you view yourself. The sun rules our basic identity and our self-realization. It also represents reason rather than instinct, which is different from the moon. And you have both of these cards. Um, it can rule happiness, enjoyment, integrity, and strength of will and purpose, depending on where it is in your astrological chart. Um, so the sun rules the basic identity of our self-realization, and let's see, it represents the ego and how you view yourself. So which kind of makes sense, since um, there is a tower event, and if you kind of look at these, from the tower you head on down to the sun, you cross over. You have the tower event, you have the world, which is the completion, and then how you will be viewing yourself after this happens, after this work of 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 a new beginning, of a new awakening, that you could possibly be going through right now. And it could even, the fact that it's there, after judgment, it could even represent that you're already achieving the success, joy, the sunshine, the warm days, the warmth in your heart, and happiness in your heart. Um, so it usually, this card will show up if, your life is sunny and you are enjoying your time with the people that you love. Your life is simple and not complicated. Relationships are blossoming and you are feeling loved. Um, it could also mean that maybe there's a, a, a much welcome child. Maybe you are a much welcome child, or there is a much welcome child coming into your life. Um, it could mean all those things. Uh, but in this reading, I believe that maybe it could mean that you will achieve your goal and you will be feeling these wonderful things. But it's following the moon and the star. So it's indicating to me that your journey is still not complete. Okay? If you think of like you in the center, everything, all the cards before that are events that have happened already, and the cards that come after are maybe things that are still pending or are in the process, right? So, let's look at the moon card. That is such a beautiful card, La Luna. Again, I think these cards are so cool. I did buy them in Antigua, Guatemala, 2 months ago when I was down there visiting family. And I just love it that they are in Spanish. Um, I think it makes the reading more interesting for my friends, for you Capricorns and everybody else's readings that I'm doing. All right, so here we go. There it is. Okay, so this is a great card. We all love the moon, and there's like all kinds of stories and myths about the moon and its effects on us here on Earth. So basically, the moon represents cycles, and that makes sense. Patterns and emotions. So patterns, behavioral patterns or thinking patterns. The moon is rising between the two towers. Do you see those two towers there? The same two towers seen in the distance on the death card. So we would have to look at the death card to do that. The towers in the death card were on the other side of the water. So I'm going to pull this card out so you can look at it. So the towers in the death card are on the other side of the water. Okay? They're on the other side of the water. Uh, Now the towers are on the same side, symbolizing that we now have crossed over and find ourselves in unknown territory. Okay, so this is you, Capricorn. The moon symbolizes a time of rest and preparation while we wait for the sun to rise again. The two towers also represent our left and right hemispheres of our brain. The path in the middle of the towers symbolizes the balance between our intuitive and our logical brain. And the moon is engulfed by a giant sun, reminding us that the moon is the reflection of the sun upon it. That's really cool. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That is amazing. Now this reflection of the sun on the moon, this symbolizes our reality being out of reach as we only experience its echo. Think about that one, huh? The moon's light is dim and it's hard to see clearly. Okay, so now we have at the bottom, coming out of the water, we have a lobster. It symbolizes the influence the moon has on our emotions, especially our primal needs. The water symbolizes our subconscious. And then the dog and the wolf. You see right there, there's the dog, and then there's the wolf, represent our tamed and wild natures, the polarity of our mind. The face of the moon is reflecting displeasure, and the path twists and turns. And this symbolizes our instinct that guides us rather than the straightforward thinking of our intellect. Okay, and the moon is ruled by Pisces. Wow, there's a lot happening with this card. Very important card. So it is ruled by Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac before the wheel begins again, and it begins with Aries. So here we find all things in life that we most want to avoid. So we push them deeper into the depths of the subconscious in the hope that we can avoid them entirely. So yeah, just let's just forget about it. Neptune is a planet for mystery and illusions. It is understood to determine mankind's destiny and increase conscious awareness. It urges us to practice compassion toward others and to deal with our fears that stop us from being kind towards others and ourselves and others. So there's some pretty important influences there um, with the moon and with this particular card in the tarot. So the tarot card obviously represents illusion, intuition, fantasies, fears, anxieties. So things might not be quite as they seem. Uh, your insecurities might be running high, or you might find yourself on the receiving end of other people's insecurities. Um, it also could show up when your dreams or intuitive messages are very strong. Some might feel they are slipping into mental confusion and find it harder to concentrate. At the same time, it comes with the great gift of creativity and imagination, and you might be drawn to mystery and even dark adventures. So, this card is here to remind us that our reality is ruled by our beliefs. And when we get in touch with ourselves, we get in touch with our creativity. And again, that makes so much sense with everything that's going on here in your reading. Yes, there it is. Everything that's happening for you right now. Everything that's going on. Beautiful, beautiful. And then let's look at the final card. La Estrella. I love this card, the star. La Estrella. A beautiful, beautiful card. When we look up at the sky and we see the stars, it's just when you're a kid and you look up, it's just so mysterious, huh? It's wonderful. Uh, so here in this card we have a woman. Um, let's see here. Now She is standing with one foot on land and one foot in the water, right? Let me make sure that we can see this really well. Yeah, there it is. There she is. Okay, she's got one foot on land and one foot in the water, and this symbolizes the connection between the inner and the outer world because water is subconscious, right? And earth is the the material. She is washing away the remaining dark matter that we've seen in your tower card. Okay? So this is a great card to have at the end of your reading. Okay, the bird is an ibis representing the god Thoth, the keeper and recorder of knowledge. And that's who that is. Now that I didn't know. That's like I'm just now reading a little bit about this. Sometimes I take advantage to read up on some sources on these cards. I don't even see the bird. Oh, there it is. It's over there by the tree. Okay. The 8 stars symbolize the chakras. Wow. The stars are eight pointed, symbolizing the material the material manifesting itself through the ether and through the intelligence. Okay. Which is not of the material world. And the pouring of water symbolizes the flow of abundance, of healing and refreshment. And the water is very cleansing. The water that is poured on land creates 5 lanes, okay, which symbolize the 5 senses. The water poured in the water shows ripple effects, reminding us of our actions creating ripple effects, the consequences of our actions, which is a very real thing. Yes. The green lush land represents fertility and abundance. The woman is naked, which symbolizes innocence. Her foot on the ground represents her practical abilities. Her foot in the water represents her emotional depths. And the star is ruled by Aquarius in the zodiac. That is an amazing card. Beautiful, beautiful card. All right. Now it is important to note that this card in astrology, the star is ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus rules sudden change, enlightenment, and awakening, so appropriate for you, especially in the areas of public service, conventions, and all that unifies humanity. Wow. It frees us from our bonds and restrictions. It rules revolutions, philosophies, and democracies. This is a pretty important influence for sure for Aquarius. Now, this in the tarot in particular, this card represents hope, a bright future, joy, optimism, guidance, finding satisfying answers, and feeling connected to the divine. It can also signify recovering from illness or from a trauma. This is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful conclusion to your reading, Capricorn. It's an amazing spread and an amazing um, circumstances and situations. If this is the case for you, Capricorn, for some of you Capricorns out there, I wish you the best. I wish all of you the best. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I wish you a wonderful March for 2016. happiness, and health and well-being. And and until then, we'll see you next month. Bye bye.